All right, we are back. Dynasty Trades in 5. I'm Clay.
I'm Shane.
I am Scott. This should be an interesting one. I'm not really sure this player's on many people's radar, but he's going to be in the next 3 months.
Yeah, so we're talking about Allen Robinson tonight. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. He's going to be 29 years old by the time he takes his first snap, wherever that is next year. Came off a garbage season where he basically played up until week 9 before their bye, and then a little bit the other day. But clear this up for me, man. What happened, Scott? You start. Where are we going with ARob from here?
Well, one of the first things I always do when we look up these videos or do these videos is look up the ADP. And he is right now, as of December on DLF, wide receiver 31, which call me completely shocked that he would be that high because he really hasn't done anything all year. He really hasn't even had a pocket of time this year where he's been productive. Like, you're lucky if you get double figure points. And there's, newsflash, there's been over 100 players that have gotten double figure points. So it's like not that special to have a week or two where you score like 11 or 12. But anyway, we know Robinson's done with Chicago. Terrible situation. He decided to stay there one more year, begrudgingly, as they franchise tagged him. Obviously, I think he's been wanting out for a while, but he's going to move on away from the Bears, away from Matt Nagy, away from Justin Fields. Whatever the situation is, it wasn't right for him. Clearly, he doesn't want to be there. I've seen a lot of people say it doesn't appear that he even really wants to be there, and it hasn't all season. Also, I think it then comes down to some of the same points we talked about with Juju on the last episode was, where does he go? How excited are we for his landing spot? And if you're talking value, like, how much are people willing to buy back in? Unlike Juju, he's going to be, 29 years old before he really has another full season. So this isn't a 25-year-old that's hitting free agency. This is a guy that's burned people for the last couple years, other than having one good year in 2020. That's it. He's really been a disappointment with the Bears. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's probably a wide receiver 3, but there's like 40 wide receiver 3s, and they're interchangeable, like week to week, situation to situation. So I just think he's one of those players where you just play the market. I'm willing to buy and I'm willing to sell. But it just probably wants to be done before we get to free agency too, just depending on the hype on the market.
Shane.
Yeah, I mean, Scott's spot on there. I mean, he's he's basically a nothing. He means nothing. He doesn't matter to me. He's not going to win a league title for me. If I'm a start 11, look, I'll be stoked to have him as my wide receiver 4. If I'm going to start 9, if he ever sees my starting lineup, my team's very bad, and things have gone very bad. He couldn't out target Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney is a fun little player, but Darnell Mooney should not be taking your targets. If Darnell Mooney's taking your targets, anyone can take your targets. No, he's been a wide receiver 2 his whole career. He's given you some weeks where you could look and go, oh, wow, I think he could be really good. It was fun, the garbage time he had with Blake Bortles in, when was that, 2014. Yeah, that was a different decade. So Allen Robinson's fine. I'm not, going out of my way to.
He sounds fine.
I mean, I'm just saying I have no desire to trade for him. Like, if it's a move where I want to pivot off a player because I have too much of them, and someone offers me Allen Robinson and it's commiserate value, fine. But he's really not going to move the needle in any trade for me.
So are you going the 205 or Allen Robinson?
Pick.
Yeah, pick.
Okay. What if it's the 209?
Well,
12-teamer, I think that's probably right around the value, where you think there's going to be the tier break at wide receiver. I mean, we're talking like day 3 receiver range. If I can get like a day 2 receiver that I might maybe like their profile and or their landing spot, like I think that's a fair pivot off value. Because the thing with Robinson is you're going to have to probably make that bet before you see where he lands in free agency. Otherwise, his value is going to change. This video is irrelevant in 3 months when he signs either, with the Lions or he signs with the Chiefs. Like, there could be a total change based on his market. So that's the one maybe positive thing, is there's going to be a little hype over the next couple months because, he's just going to go somewhere new. It has to be better than the Bears, right?
Well, and that's what I was going to say, is literally no matter where he signs is better than the Bears. Like, I don't care if he signs to be the wide receiver 2 in, what do you call that place? Kansas City, like you said, or the wide receiver 1 tied to Jared Goff in Detroit. anywhere he signs, we're going to sell ourselves that it's better. And he's going to get a slight boost there. So hold on to him until that signing, if you already have him on your roster, and then trade him literally that day when the giddiness is just overtaking people. And they're thinking that ARob is going to, turn into ARob from 2015 reception perception.
So who do you like better, Sutton or ARob?
Sutton.
I mean, I think we're to a point where he's below Odell Beckham. He's below, I mean, he's equivalent to like Corey Davis, but at least I know Corey Davis is probably the number 2 option on his team with maybe an offense that could get a little bit better next year. But I mean, even if Corey Davis is on the Jets that look anything like this year, like I almost think I might prefer Corey Davis. Kenny Golladay. I mean, like that's the range he's in. He's not in this wide receiver 3 range like he's being valued. I mean, he's down in the low wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5 range. And that's before the rookies come in. I mean, you got to figure there's going to be like 8 to 10 rookies that we jam in the top 60 this year too. So the market's just not there. You just got to hope for a situation change. That's it.
Would you rather have ARob and let's call it the 208 or Brandon Ayuk?
Brandon Ayuk.
I take Ayuk, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I take DJ Chark over Allen Robinson. And that's a guy that's been dead for 3 months. But I mean, you could you blame anybody if you said Chark versus Robinson? They have the same bet over the next 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Someone lands in a good spot. I mean, and if Chark has just as good a landing spot, he's 4 years younger.